in this conference, the good thing was that we are looking globally on trade, on business, and all those challenges and what can be done to all men and women. Because again, if we talk about women, in Rwanda we believe that it should come men and women because it is about the family. Yes. And it is about citizens by the constitution of that country and about the rights of these citizens. So women vendors, for example, before they become entrepreneurs, yes. What is those conditions? What is the government doing to make sure that there is a neighboring environment which will help at the end of the day, after 5 years, to have these women entrepreneurs we are talking about? And that is when we will be able to discuss, do we need affirmative action in procurement? Because now you'll be having a good number of these women entrepreneurs. Yeah. So for us, we think that the question first is to look on, to check ourselves, yes. The accountability from the government, how much mechanisms or policies or strategy you have been putting in place to make sure that whatever you're talking about, if it is about gender equality, for example, in Rwanda, this has been a choice. This has been a decision that gender equality and women empowerment should be a pillar for our sustainable development. So what we have put in place is, one, having right policies. Yes. So these policies which will look, if we talk about gender equality, means you do analysis, you try and see in your community who is lagging behind. So as you make sure that your community, you are taking the community as you go in development, men and women, girls and boys. And that is where you're going to see policies on education, trying to look, uplifting girls, make sure that they go to science and technology, they go to school, primary, they have primary and secondary, and even higher learning institution for sustainability. Because at the end of the day, I'm imagining the CEO of a company should be educated. Yes. The CEO of the enterprise you want to promote for these women, you should have the quality women, the women who can be able to negotiate, the women who can be able to access this market, the women whom you are going to give these opportunities and be able to take it. So these policies should look on areas focusing on what you want in the future to promote these women. So maybe I cannot list all the policies, but mainly our gender policy looks on in all those gaps, looks on education, health, trade, and try to see what are those indicators. And after analyzing these indicators, we use it in our plans, especially in our Vision 2020, because we have Rwanda a Vision 2020, yes. Which is inclusive of men and women, and gender is a cross-cutting, meaning that all sectors should make sure that they account for it. But more importantly, in our midterm plan, the EDPRS. In our EDPRS, because it is a 5-year plan, so it has clear targets, it has clear indicators, and how are we mainstreaming now gender in these targets? I'm not avoiding your question, but I'm trying to show you that, for example, if we're talking about Ministry of Commerce, yes. What are those gender indicators in trade? So after analyzing with this sector, after looking into the gaps, if it is the issue of capacity, so what is the statistics? So we work with the National Institute of Statistics through our Ministry of Finance and Planning and come up with the clear indicators in trade. We come up with the clear indicators in, for example, in export. So see how many women do we have, what are those challenges, and after having those indicators, then we integrate it in our EDPRS, and when they go to implement, then we will be coming to evaluate our gender policy, trying to see, have you done what you're supposed to be doing? Now, on procurement, as to me, I'm taking it now as something which will show that all the policies we have been talking in trade, all the policies, all the indicators we have been putting in place, are we really getting these women to compete, to bid? How many contracts do we have? So this connection is what I think can be looked at to make sure that from the grassroots level, from the government and the policies, the women themselves, now when it comes to the procurement, you have these women ready to take